Well, welcome back to Rough Restos. Today we have something slightly different. So it's not the Capri, it's not the 25 Turbo Golf, and it's not the Turbo Technics 300 Classic. Today we are starting a new series on this little gem here. So let's crack on with it. Now I'm sure most of you know what this is. This is a Mk1 Golf, and it's a cabbie, or cabriolet to be specific. B-Reg, not a bad little motor. It's been resprayed. This is another one which has been given to me to do by the same guy I had that US Capri from. So Gary's got this project for me to sort out. Now he's brought it in the, I'm pretty sure he's brought it off with a guy who painted it. And basically he put it back together, and he sort of sold it in the idea with not everything working, just it's back together, it runs, it drives. That's about it, really. Now, unfortunately, I've already started on this. Not because I got ahead of myself. No, because the GoPro decided to destroy my footage last weekend. Well, my intro last weekend. So I'm now having to record a new intro for a video I've already done, which is a pain. But to sum it up, basically, it might start and move, but that's about all that happens on this car. So electrical wise, literally nothing works. Well, I think one headlight worked. I think that's about it. So nothing works. No. Supposedly a lot of things just weren't plugged in. Now in some cases that has been the case. Like here, this headlight was unplugged. The ground, that's a bit dodgy there, he needs a bit of work. Yeah, none of it's great. It's all a bit of a mess like this here. They've changed a new battery, put a new battery cable in it. But what's that about? You know. So we've got a good bit of tidying up to do in here. Probably secure the fuel filter as well, maybe. Might be an idea. And that would probably explain there. Maybe why the washers don't work. Might be, might not be. You know, that's definitely going to be a contributing factor considering not connected to anything. So there's various bits missing on this engine, car, sorry. The engine itself is fairly sweet, but the alternator seems to be dodgy. It's not getting excited when you start the engine unless you give it a little rev. It's also whining. Well, we'll take the belt off, but it sounds like it's the alternator bearings that are whining. And occasionally the engine's a bit tappy. Kind of sounds like one of the hydraulic lifters is maybe not pressurising. So issues we potentially got to look into there, but it does run and drive. The clutch pedal is a bit crap, but a fair bit of slack there, so it needs a bit of adjusting. Yeah, she's not a bad little unit though. But like I say, most of it doesn't or didn't work. So that's where I'm at. I think now I'm going to leave it there, and we'll jump into the rest of the video rather than confuse things now. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. Right, so step one, was to locate the fuse box. Found that, right in a pain in the ass position. So I pulled it down to get some access to it. I found the diagram that corresponds with the fuse box. So that's rather important. And I started going through testing what fuses have power, and what does what, to an extent. So, what I've been doing is I'm not sure if I can set this up so you can see it or not. Right, I'm just going to assume you can see that. Sorry if you can't. So what we've got here then is the fuse box, and I've been essentially with a multimeter, here it is. I've been probing the fuses. So I've put the ground up on the ground point and gone on to volts DC. Now I've just started checking the fuses, really checking like both sides of the fuses. So the top contact. At 12 volts, and then 12 volts the other side, so our fuse is working. And we got 12 volts, nothing the other side, so this tells me this fuse isn't working. Pull it out. Sure enough, you probably won't be able to see, to be fair, with the light down here, but fuse is blown in the middle. So we've got a 15 amp fuse here, number 3, it's blown. on my diagram, that does, according to this, cigarette lighter, clock, radio and interior lights. All of which we've proved currently don't work. Now it could be related to things like all this, just hanging around everywhere. So all this stuff here hanging around, there's another live end of the cable, or there's a end of the cable up there. Oh, look, another one of them. Oh dear. There's all sorts just hanging around up here, so it might well pop again. So let's just pop another fuse in there. Here's some I prepared earlier, and we'll see what happens. If it's always easier, just fuse has been blown and connections to do up, then we'll be laughing, but I don't think it's going to be all that simple the entire time anyway. So yeah, let's pop this in and see what happens. Alright. Twelve volts both sides now. I'll just video. So I'm going to continue for the rest of the fuse box, get that sussed out a minute and see what else doesn't work or what else is blown there, and then we'll go from there and see why everything else doesn't work if things still don't work by then. Alright, quick update. Handbrake light now works. Horn now works. So that was down to fuses missing and fuses being blown. Stereo light didn't work. I pulled it, and yeah, I can't see why it doesn't work. I have no idea whatsoever. Yeah, same with the cigarette lighter obviously. So we got all this start working out. I've just pulled off the, because I've got to start taking my dash disc fascia off now so I can look at the clocks as to why nothing works on them. And no lights or nothing was connected to any of this. An absolute mess. So this is going to be fun. I enjoy a challenge. So I'm going to keep tearing into all this and get this off a minute, and then we can start seeing what is connected, what isn't connected, and why it's all buggered. Right, as you can see, we're a bit further on here in a minute. She's in more pieces. So I've taken the whole dash out because that didn't work, and we had so many issues back here, so many cables lying around and such. And I've just been working out what does what. Now that one there is our 12 volt for our stereo. That I think is meant to be our ground for a stereo. That I'm assuming is the speaker cable for the driver's side, because the passenger side one's all 1 foot right on there. Most of this stuff here ain't too bad. There's been numerous repairs on the looms over the years. I'm kind of slightly concerned about all these red cables here do, but I'm starting to trace them back now. And I think most of these red cables have all been joined in back here, and they are actually dashboard illumination, which only works a tiny bit because the switch is buggered, so it only works literally in one little position of a switch. The rest of it doesn't work. I've got power at the instrument cluster from here, but the cluster was all entirely dead before. Now, the PCB on this is not in the best condition. It's all starting to fall to pieces. Someone's been yanking at this before and they've just been a bit brutal. This housing, it sits over these this fragile PCB stuff, that's falling off. If I can get it out a minute, if it'll come out. The actual tracks on the PCB are getting torn off as well, so they are semi-missing. Same with this one over here. That has popped back in, but it's not going to stay in. So she's been treated a bit roughly. I'm hoping that there's still enough tracks left on this that we can get a good connection and it'll work. If not, I'm not sure yet. Not ideal if not. So we've got that. That accounts for most of that. That's pretty much working at the minute, which is good. I'm hoping this is going to count for most of these red wires, if so I can get them all tied up and out of the way. Neatened up a bit. I was just looking at the cigarette lighter. Now we've got down here in the footwell hanging out, we've got a permanent live. We've got that's a dash illumination live there. And we've also got 2 lamp holders and a ground cable, I'm assuming. This doesn't look right. No, it doesn't look right at all. But either way, I think these two here are meant to do the illumination for the heater controls. Yeah, and that ground cable there is probably the ground for cigarette lighter. Yeah, that's not adding up yet, because that should be a illumination. Yeah, I'll suss that out in a minute. But we know we've got an illumination cable down here. I think the cables are meant to go around here. I just need to get them back up there, tidied up, extend some of these stereo ones because they were too short. And then, with any luck, if the cluster bits work, up here could actually maybe go back together. Ish, at least. And then we can move down to these gauges, or I might actually look at them before it goes back together in case we need some more wiring for that. So we can get down to that. I still have no idea why the blower doesn't work. There's no power there, and everything else. So yeah, we'll keep cracking on. Right, so we do actually have an instrument cluster now doing some working. Most of it appears to work, bar the temperature sensor won't do anything. It did flash for ages and then it just stopped flashing and it just does nothing. Oil pressure, it shouldn't flash at the minute, I'm sure. It should flash when it's running and it's not got oil pressure rather than at the start, but I don't know, either way, it's not the end of the world. What else? That indicator light there, you won't be able to see it unless I turn the thing off, possibly. Next to battery light. That's staying on dim, and when I fiddle with the connector, it's altering. So we've got issues there. With the dash plugged in, the indicators won't work left and right, but the hazards will work. I did rig up, I've changed the aero cable, so now it's the aero cable was in the engine bay. That's now there. It does actually work, the stereo works, but the dash has been cut for a modern stereo. Found wiring in the rear, the passenger footwell, but it's no good because it was too short, and that goes to the rear speaker wiring's a mess. That needs to be rewired if we're using that. The cigarette lighter in lamp holder net, that's still buggered, so we need a new one of them. Missing the illumination bit for the heater controls, so we need a lamp holder for that and a lamp. Need a few new lamps for a dashboard as well because they're not illuminating. Haven't got around to the gauges yet. I've sussed out most of the wiring back in there and sorted out some of it, which is good. The dashboard, the rheostat for the illumination doesn't work. Well, it does work, but only about one little bit of a turning. It's knackered. Now the front dip beam, high beam, side lights work. The rear side lights work. The rear fog light works, and we've got one indicator lamp I think is gone. So that's all working as well now, which is great. If I start up a minute. Alternator's not charging. Give it a few revs. Oh. And then the alternator gets excited and kicks in. Also, the bearings on the alternator appear to be knackered by the sound of it. You probably can't hear from here. It's not doing it much now, but I was happy at the minute. We've also got a tapping coming from the top end somewhere, so got to look into that. And a blow from the exhaust. But overall, it's doing stuff. So I'm very happy, and I'm sure the owners, well, I've been in talks with, but he's currently happy, so I'll let's give him the bad news of all what we need to replace and need to sort still. So I reckon another good few hours on this lot, and the electrics will be mostly working and things will be sort of back together again. The dashboard is basically falling out, so that one he's doing properly. It's just been chucked together. So yeah, I will get that sorted. But if you happen to have enjoyed this episode, I know it's a bit of a, some of you might not be too interested, but if you want to maybe see more on the Golf, let me get a few more videos on it at least. I think getting bits and bobs sorted out, there's quite a bit to do. Then why not subscribe? Drop the video a like if you like it, drop me a comment, tell me what you think, and yeah, with any luck I'll see you again next time. Cheers.
Bye.